Come on.
Hey, everybody.
Caleb, welcome back.
How's it going?
It's fine. So you're a big Trump fan. What's been going on
I'm
with him?
not a Trump fan.
Let's talk about Trump.
They passed 2 articles of impeachment on him the other day. They voted on them, and every single Democrat voted yes. Every single Republican voted no. That has never happened in the history of an impeachment before. Typically, when you impeach a president, it's because he's done something wrong, and everyone goes, yeah, they did something wrong.
Right.
We all agree to this. Republican, Democrat, they all vote.
You're gonna get a good mix, typically.
Yes. So this was the first time that's ever happened. And basically, all they're saying is that it's just good for Trump. This is a great thing for Trump. And that was, I mean, when I saw it, I was like, this is helping him get elected in 2020. He's not going to get impeached. And I don't know, it's just like, it's showing all the people who are kind of on both sides of the fence, or on the fence maybe, and didn't really know where they were going to lie in the next election, how ridiculous this all is. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so they're just going to be like, well, they're clearly trying to get him out when he's done nothing wrong. Right. And they're going to go vote for Trump instead of whoever else the Democrats have.
Do you think this is by design?
Yeah, 100%. I do, but I have no evidence to back that up. I just believe that. I think that, Nancy Pelosi is trying to get him elected harder than anybody.
That's a side of it that most people are probably not thinking about.
So do you think that he's going to win?
Yeah.
He won the first time. They put him there the first time.
He has both sides working 24/7 to get him elected. He's going to win. He will be the next president. I really don't care who wins. Yeah. Because I don't believe in any of it. I don't want any of it to happen, but that's not going to be the case. But I think that all of the anti-Trump stuff from Democrats is a complete lie. It's just a
I don't
ploy.
think he would ever got elected if he was really the opposition.
Yeah, no.
They wouldn't have let it happen.
Mm-mm.
No way.
I agree with that. Do either of you know much about impeachment? Because I don't, and
I don't at all.
Great.
It's very confusing, and apparently a president can get impeached, but that doesn't mean they're not the president anymore.
That's right, yeah.
Right.
It doesn't mean removal of office.
Yeah. Now, does that mean that they're not eligible for re-election?
No.
Okay, so what?
The only thing
it's like a strike on your character.
Yeah, so it's just like in the
mark
public
on your record.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So
I guess
it's
it depends on the.
I need 4 write-ups to get a whatever.
3 strikes, you're out.
3 strikes to get 1 write-up. So it's a kind of a superficial thing then, possibly, right? It's not really.
Well, I think it depends
could
on
not
the
mean
accusations and the charges.
I think it's I don't know. I think it's I could be completely wrong about this.
It's fine. But we told him not to listen.
Yeah. I think it's when you're found guilty and then when you're sentenced, I think that's kind of what it is. He may be impeached and they find it to whatever they're saying to be the case, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's getting removed from office.
Yeah. I think the case with Nixon was that he was being impeached and then resigned before the process finished because he was going to be kicked out.
Gotcha.
I think that's how I understand it, but I don't know.
What about Clinton? Didn't it happen to him?
It did, and he didn't get kicked out. He just remained president, I believe.
Yeah, I don't remember what happened with that. I saw a picture. It was like Trump, Obama, and then Bill Clinton, and it said Trump on the top. It said more jobs, and then it was Obama. It said no jobs, and then it was Clinton. It said blowjobs.
You gotta give it to him.
Yeah. It's funny. Hillary was overseas somewhere, indicating that she may run, and you're just like, why? How? You lost it more than he won it.
Yeah.
Everyone hates you.
Yeah, I don't know how that fits into the plan. It's what?
Yeah.
Like, how does that make any sense?
I don't know how she's still alive. She was falling down steps. They were having to jam her into vans and stuff last time.
She's probably just a clone now.
She doesn't look the same.
Yeah, I mean...
Do you guys remember when...
She's definitely a clone.
When after she had that trouble with the van... This was like in 2016, like before the election. When she passed out or something and was staggering into the van. Then after that, she apparently went back to her hotel, and then she came out and waved to everybody and stuff. But like, there was a lot of people saying that wasn't her. That
Yeah,
was like, there was no way that was her. That was very interesting.
Yeah,
like that was because it didn't really look like her.
That
it did, but it didn't.
That doesn't seem far fetched, and I think a lot of high political figures in maybe other countries
have doubles,
do that kind of a thing, and I'm sure they do that in the U.S. I don't see a problem with that. Honestly, I really don't. I don't think there's anything wrong with people who are in a position like that having a double that needs to kind of fill in for like waving and you know what I mean, like just to kind of keep everybody calm, make sure the person's
That's
okay.
fucked, dude.
I don't see a problem with that.
No.
I don't see a problem with that.
Why do you not see a problem with that?
Because
it's a lie.
It is a lie, but it's like it's the least of our worries. Like, I mean, it just doesn't seem like an issue. Like it seems like they do that for their own safety and for convenience and for like, you know, if something did happen to her and she was having a medical emergency, you wouldn't want that to get out when you're on the campaign trail. If you have a double, you're
secretly a Hillary fan, aren't you?
No, I'm just saying, like, that seems fair to me.
Bernie,
that seems
to
fair.
Hillary. That's his trajectory.
It's a weird trajectory.
Oh, man. That's what happens when you have no moral compass. You just bounce around.
Is that what's happening?
Yeah, that's what's happening to you. Yep.
No, I mean, I thought it was too late for anyone else to really run. Like, haven't they been doing this for a minute now?
I mean, it's never too late, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how it works because I don't care, honestly. Like,
yeah. How do we get rid of the two-party system to where we actually have...
Don't vote. Everybody just stop
voting. Yes, that's the moral of the story.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that because it's a rigged system and always has been. And I got duped into thinking it might not be when Trump got elected. But
it's like I used to think it's a rigged system. The only way to change it is if we all get out and vote. And it's like, wait, it's a rigged system. Your vote is pointless, essentially. Like the only way to fix it is to get out of the system.
Stop playing the game the government wants you to play.
Because
start leading yourself.
Not just because that's what's good to bring it all down or whatever, but just when I started really looking into libertarianism and anarchism and that kind of thing, anarchy, whatever, however you say it.
Yeah.
Like, I read somebody made a pretty good argument. Like, I don't think I should tell somebody else that they can't do some kind of drug they want to do. That's their body. If they want to do that drug, if they want to sleep with a prostitute, if they want to do any of that stuff, I might think that's a bad idea, but that's their body, and they should decide what to do with it. And it's weird, like, with democracy, or, I know we're not technically a democracy, but, like, when we vote on stuff, you're basically picking, you're picking a master, and you're picking someone else's master, because half the country isn't going to like the person that gets elected anyway. So that's just a weird thing, and it's immoral. Like,
it is, because it's forcing people to not be free in the way that they want to be free.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's definitely immoral.
Mm-hmm. And on some level, you're putting your stamp of approval on what they do, and you may think that, you know, Trump's not as bad as Obama, but he's still committing atrocities and war crimes, and dropping the mother of all bombs on Syria, even though we know that they didn't.
He just recently redid the Patriot Act, renewed it.
Mm-hmm. Did he?
Right.
Of course.
While all this impeachment stuff is going on. And then I haven't looked into this yet, and I really want to, but a few days ago, he signed an executive order that put some law in the books that is essentially a hate speech law that protects Jews. So any kind of like anti-Semitic thing, and I don't know the wording and the details of it all, but it's some kind of like hate speech law against being an anti-Semite, essentially. He just did an executive order for that the other day amongst all this crap. So
dumb.
this Republican God that all these Republicans follow, Trump, that's we're the party of free speech, we're the party of this, we're the party of that, has done more to fuck up their rights and what they believe in than any Democratic president in the past.
The problem.
Who knows how long?
Nobody has morals. Like, they don't really believe in freedom. Well, the vast majority, 98% of people don't. They just want the freedom to do what they want to do while they tell other people, what they... I mean, because that's the thing. Like, nobody has a problem with it on the right because most of the right loves the Jews.
Yeah, I mean, I guarantee... I haven't seen any of it yet, but I guarantee you the Daily Wire or Ben Shapiro has multiple different articles about how incredible this is and how this is such a great thing. But yet they have so many articles and videos about how hate speech isn't... It shouldn't be illegal and we have to defend free speech and all that. And it's just like... You're hypocrites.
Yeah, because if it had something to do with transgender people, they would be up in arms.
Oh, absolutely.
And talking about pronouns and all that kind of crap.
Yeah.
So it's ridiculous. And I don't think the vast majority of people actually believe what they say they believe. Because when it comes down to it, they want to control everyone else.
Yeah. Regardless of what side you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is why we have to abolish the two sides.
Just abolish the government.
And then,
I'll give you.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Hit that like button if you want to abolish the government.
That's right. It will be fine. Like, I mean, it's not going to be a utopia.
No.
But it'll be fine.
Is it a utopia now, guys?
Is there... Yeah, that's right.
Everybody seems to be complaining constantly. I mean, like...
Is there a government official in this room? I'm not stabbing Caleb. I hate looking at him, but I'm not stabbing him.
Yeah, I mean, we have some semblance of order in here without any government oversight.
I think that's the big lie, right? That they've convinced us all to believe that without them, it will only be chaos.
Yeah.
And that's not true.
Yeah.
It's just not true. If it was that way, there would be constant chaos all the time.
First off, you can make the argument that there already is. I hear people say, like, when they argue anarchy or anything like that, any kind of, anti-government thing, they're like, oh, people will just be murdering and robbing and stealing all the time. That happens every day. People are murdering and robbing and stealing and raping every single day in this country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we have the government who says these things are wrong and illegal, and we stop you from doing these, and we punish you when you do these things.
But it doesn't stop.
But it doesn't stop
at 100%
people from doing it.
No.
So what fantasy world do you want to live in where all of that is just never going to happen?
That's stupid too. Like, it's also illegal to smoke weed. Everyone smokes weed.
Yeah.
The people that want to do it, do it.
Yes.
They don't care that it's illegal.
Yeah.
It just...
People are going to be people. Government or no government.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it will work itself out. Like, that's... Before this mass surveillance state with a cop standing on every corner, like, people... It was not chaos all over the world.
Right.
You know?
It's not beneficial to people who want to thrive to let chaos just be chaos.
No.
We will make sure that it's going to be beneficial to people for them to make order out of it.
Yes.
Which is what we do anyways.
Yeah.
So, down with the government.
I'll give you.
Yep.
Which is why, like, it's hard for me to follow any of it or watch any of it or keep up with it, because it's just
definitely
I'm sick of playing the game. I'm sick of caring about what the fuck they have to say this week. It's just, it's pointless.
I started watching the Young Turks videos. I used to just scroll past them, and they still really piss me off because most of the people on there, they're not. I'm not going to call them unintelligent because I think they know exactly what they're doing.
Right.
But they put these videos up that are horrible videos of terrible atrocities committed by the police. Like, most of the ones that I see, I know they cover a lot of different things. Most of the ones that I see are about police brutality on black people. And they post these horrible videos, and a lot of the videos I've already seen, and then I like to hear what they have to say about it, right? And they take something that's horrible and should be talked about and should be shown, and the cop should be put on blast, but then they just spin it, and they add all this extra bullshit, and they add all these, like, they draw all these conclusions about racism, and all cops are racist, and they jump in all this, and I'm just like, you guys are insane. Like, it's just, they really bother me, but I do enjoy some of their videos just because, like, I like to see that other side of it, because they don't talk, you don't get to see any. No one will talk about cops being bad on the right at all, ever.
No.
They've never done anything wrong, ever.
No.
Any killing or anything was always justified, and it was always fine, and there was nothing they ever did anything, nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I watch a few people that are like, they're more anarchists or libertarians, and they give you like a really good representation of what the police are doing. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not being stupid about it or trying to twist it into like a racist thing. Yeah. They hate the police because they're a gang and they shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
and that's what's annoying is I watch a lot of the videos of cops fucking with people and abusing them or just infringing on their rights. And I've seen so many, and I can't say, oh, most of them were black people or most of them were white people. No, most of them were American citizens getting their rights infringed on by the police for no fucking reason.
Yeah,
and that's what bothers me about when they at least do talk about it on the Young Turks, is that it's only the race thing. It's not a police problem.
Yeah,
it's a racist police problem. Yeah. No, it's a power problem.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But it's all postmodernism. They're just trying to pit one group against the other group, and really the answer is, listen. People are racist. All colored people are racist. That's just something that's there. You're not going to fix that. That's a human mind or heart problem, and it's all kinds of people are racist. So let's just not give people that much power,
Yeah.
And then we won't have to worry about if that person's racist and targeting a black guy targeting white people or a white guy targeting black people.
Yeah.
Like, just don't give them the power to do it.
Yeah.
And then it's solved. You can't fix somebody's deficient thinking.
Yeah.
You can just not give them the power to kill and rob and
exactly. It's they're just other people.
Yeah.
Why do we give them power?
Mm-hmm.
They're not a different species.
And another thing that's just crazy
people.
too is
ridiculous.
I haven't gone over. Obviously, I'm not a police officer. I haven't gone through the training that police officers receive. I haven't looked into great detail on the training they receive. But from all the videos I've seen of how they implement their training, they're getting horrible training. Who the fuck is training police officers in this country? I saw a video posted by a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu page, and it was this woman was going to deal with some call. She was a police officer. She was going to deal with some call. She had to deal with this man who was mentally unstable. And she ends up going in the house, and he starts kind of fighting with her. She gets overwhelmed. She's doing everything she can. She's undertrained, and he's stronger than she is. And like it was a horrible situation. And she ended up shooting his mother in the struggle. Because, but here's the thing, right? The struggle went on for maybe 2 minutes, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes, which is a long time to be struggling with an individual when you're a cop and not pull your gun out and shoot them straight away, because a cop would typically do that. When someone's fighting them, they can just shoot them no matter if they have a gun or not. They can kill them right there and be done with it. She did everything she could before she pulled her pistol. When she did, they were still fighting. She fired and shot the mom and didn't hit him. But the person who posted the video, they go around and train. They go to police departments and train police officers. They have a program, and they reach out to police departments and say, "Hey, would you like us to come train your police officers in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu?" If this woman had have known a small amount of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, she would have been able to control this individual, handcuff him, and no one would have been injured. No one would have been shot. I believe that.
It could have been better. Yeah,
I've seen.
It could have still went bad,
videos,
but it would have been better.
Yes, I've seen videos of people getting irate. Like I saw a video of some guy trying to start shit in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like establishment, where there's all these people in there training, and he's trying to start shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy took the dude down, got control of him, and kept him there and held him there until the police arrived.
Right.
He didn't have to punch him in the face a billion times and
Right.
shove his knee into his head, into the concrete.
No,
He
yeah.
knew how to take the man down, control him. He was a very large man. This guy was a little bit smaller than him, the guy who took him down. He was well trained. And it's like these guys are trained to pull their gun and shoot, pull their taser, or just start
Right.
swinging
They're not
fists and
trained
elbows.
in subduing someone
No,
or
they have no real training on how to like deal with these situations in a de-escalation manner.
right.
It's like their whole training is based on everything you do needs to be to protect your safety. But that seems insane to me. You're a police officer. You signed up for a dangerous job. Your safety's not top priority here. The safety of the citizens you swore an oath to protect is.
Yeah.
So you have to put yourself in danger before you can just go, oh, well, I feel like I'm in danger, so I'm going to go ahead and take these actions against this person,
Right.
whether I know if I'm actually in danger or not. No, you don't. I don't think they should have that right, but they get away with it all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and part of the problem is the way that it's designed puts them in situations that they should never be in the first place. Like,
Sure.
because I don't know, this is what you're talking about. Like, it may have been some kind of domestic violence thing that like justifies calling someone, or whatever. But I was driving home the other night, and I was getting on just a dark highway, like on ramp kind of thing, and this cop had this person pulled over, and he's walking up like to, I guess, approach them on the window, and he's got his hand on his gun, and I'm like, dude, that dude was probably going 7 miles over the speed limit, 12 miles over, whatever he did. He rolled a stop sign or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's ridiculous because it's a way for the state to get more money. And so that's the only reason they're doing this. That guy, whatever he was doing probably wasn't putting anyone in danger.
Yeah.
And so now you've got a cop walking up there, and whatever. That's the cop's a person. He's got a family. He doesn't want to get shot tonight, but he should never be in that position. There is no reason for that except for the state wants him to collect $120 from this person for rolling a stop sign because they spend all their money on illegitimate things anyway.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Because back in like the 30s, they came up with a plan to help the banks with their debt, and they realized that they could make corporations out of U.S. citizens and make them have driver's license. There's no law that requires you to have a driver's license.
Really?
Not at all.
Yeah.
The law says that you're required to have a driver's license if you're conducting commerce on the highways or with your vehicle. So the only law that requires you to have a driver's license is if your business is on the highways and you make money out of your vehicle. Other than that, you're a traveler. And it's very clear in the law, but it says person. And so they go, a person is required to have a driver's license. But the person refers to a corporation, person and their employers or their employees.
Yeah.
It's what it actually says. And so if you look on your driver's license, your name's in all capitals. If you look on your birth certificate, your name's in all capitals. Any government document has your name in all capitals, which is a grammatical error. A noun can't have all capitals. It has to start with a capital.
Okay.
Therefore, that isn't you. It's incorrect. It's wrong. Because it's not you. It's a fictional company that they've created in your name. And they came up with this plan in, I believe, the 30s to help with the bank's debt because they realized they can make money off the citizens by all of this. And it's insane.
Yeah.
And now what's so crazy, though, is that this is a fact, but if you drive down the road and get pulled over and you don't have a driver's license and you try to tell the police officer, oh, I'm a traveler, I'm free to travel, he's going to snatch you out of the car, beat your ass, and take you to jail.
Yeah.
And I've seen that happen in lots of videos.
That's the sovereign citizen thing, right?
It is, yes, sort of.
So many people hate those types of folks.
Dude,
And because I think a lot of them are misinformed.
Yeah.
And they are doing things, and you know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna go and say that. First off, I already have a driver's license. I've forfeited my right.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Once you do that, then you've
already
given it
played
up.
the game.
You've given away those rights.
Me and a friend of mine one time, like, how we were in his hometown and visiting there. His sister was getting married. We were riding around with his dad, and I mean, this wasn't all that long ago. It was 4 or 5 years, so we were, well into our adult life or whatever, we were riding with his dad like back to his house, and we see this like DUI checkpoint, and he's like, Dad, get me home. I gotta get in my car. I gotta roll through this. I've been waiting for this for 3 years or whatever. He's like, I gotta go through that. And then, so I was like, I'm gonna ride with him, but I'm not gonna do what he's gonna do or whatever. Yeah. So he was driving or whatever, and he rolls down his window, and I don't remember exactly what happened, but we go through this thing, and he's like, where y'all headed? Can you get your driver's license? I think he said to the officer, no thank you. And the guy was like, what? And he was like, no, what am I being pulled over for or whatever? And the guy was like, what's your name, son? And he goes, I'm not telling you that. Why am I being pulled over? And the guy goes, he was like, man, you're going to give me your driver's license or whatever. And my friend goes, no, I'm not. And the guy the guy goes, he distinctly said, okay, pull up over there. So we go to pull up. And then, I was like, we're about to die, because, like, he told us to pull up over there, and then as soon as we started, like, pulling through it, like, 10 cops just start running on the car, and they're like, stop, and he's like, he told me to pull over.
Oh my God.
So they basically rip him out of the car. He purposefully, I guess, didn't bring his driver's license, or maybe hid it somewhere in the car or something, I don't remember. So they couldn't even...
They couldn't get it.
No, he wouldn't tell them.
And here's the
name.
thing: if they take it off of his person, that's completely illegal. You're not allowed.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to do any.
Yeah.
If you're saying I don't consent to any seizures of my property,
right?
Yeah.
And they take it from you,
right?
Then that's against the law.
Yeah.
That's why we left England.
So like they're doing that, and they asked me for my driver's license, and I just comply and give it to them, and then. It was so funny because they were so frustrated with him, and they saw I was complying. One guy sticks his head in, and he's like, hey man, what's your buddy's name? And I was like, I can't. That's for him to tell. I can't tell. Yeah. And he got so mad. And I hear him like slam the door, but the windows are open. So like they're marching him towards the friend of mine, towards this like mobile trailer they got set up or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I hear one of them go, Sarge, we got ourselves a sovereign citizen over here. They take him in there. They made me pull the car over here. And he stood in there. I mean, he was in there for like an hour and a half or something. Yeah. And he said they got the guy that was over the entire whatever police force, because it wasn't like a state thing. It was like a city. I guess they were working with him. And he was like, man, listen. He's like, you can't just roll through this thing. He gave the friend of mine a card and was like, listen, well, I'm happy to talk to you. I think a lot of the same things you do or whatever. But he was like, I can't just let you go. You got to at least give me your first name. And like, so he said, I think he told, I don't remember because I wasn't in there. I'm just what he told me. But he eventually, because he asked him, he was like, what happens if I don't? And the guy was like, well, I guess we're going to detain you. And then we're going to get an order from a judge to get a blood sample and run against the or a fingerprint, whatever he was going to. Blood samples in my head, so I don't know why they would.
That's what that big camper
is.
Is that big camper is like where they do the blood samples for the blood alcohol.
Yeah, okay.
And that's like, I'm pretty sure those are like tax
that's what
things.
The guy said, he was like, I can tell that you're not drunk. I've been talking to you for 15 minutes. Just tell me and we'll let you go. And he's like, I can't do that.
That's insane though, because I mean, like, he doesn't have to tell him his name.
No. It's so much garbage.
You have not committed a crime. Now, there are certain states where they've made laws where you have to identify yourself regardless.
Yeah.
But
I don't know.
That's not very many states.
I think those are like policies or like city ordinances or something. I don't know if those laws are... I don't think they can trump
the Constitution.
Rights.
Yeah. Unwarranted search and seizure.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, being detained for no reason.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of videos that play out almost exactly like that, where people go through the checkpoints and do that, and most of the time when they have a camera, they'll end up getting away a lot smoother. Because they realize
if you're videoing it, they know that shit's gonna go viral.
I saw one cop screaming at this guy because he wouldn't give him his ID. He was cussing him out and all this, and he leans in and he sees the dash cam and he like backs up and changes his tune and like just starts like freaking out, and then like he backs away and they get another officer to come in and deal with it, and like it's just
it's crazy, man. I mean, we
unconstitutional.
We dealt with that one day, and like, I mean, I was 18 years old at the time, didn't have any clue how to handle that situation. And, like, it was just complete ridiculous. The entire situation was completely ridiculous. The cop, okay, I've never been through a DUI checkpoint.
That was the most redneck, jankety checkpoint that any police have ever tried to set up, though. They were, like, hiding by each stop sign with their vehicles in the dark, no lights on, I don't think. Just standing there with flashlights in the dark, like on each end of a four-way stop. It wasn't like a very obvious checkpoint.
See,
there weren't signs.
The one I ran through, it was like
there were nothing, which is you have to have signs.
Yeah, there was no sign coming up to it. The only like signal I got was as I was coming up to it, somebody flashed their lights at me, right? But I'm 18 and dumb and didn't realize even what they were doing, right? I pull up to the stop sign, come to a complete stop, turn my blinker on, everything was fine, and I start pulling off to leave because I've done nothing wrong. There's no reason for me to have to talk to any police officer at this point, you know? And so as soon as I start turning left, the cop starts yelling, going crazy, right? He grabs his flashlight and bangs it into the side of my mom's car at the time.
Put a big
dent in the side of my mom's car.
Man, I hate cops.
I pull over, and he comes up to the window and starts cussing me out. I'm 18 years old. I have my brother in there. I have my two cousins. One of my cousins is 9 years old, and he's screaming profanities.
What the fuck are you doing driving away like that? You didn't hear me?
Yeah.
No, I didn't, because I haven't done anything wrong. Why would I even need to look at you?
And because we had music playing. We're riding in a car, and we're allowed to listen to music, officer.
Yeah.
Well, see, and the one that we rolled through, like, you couldn't. I mean, it looked like a border patrol checkpoint. I mean, it was there. You couldn't miss anything. You knew what was happening there.
Yeah.
But it's so funny. Though.
I mean, I got a ticket. I got told that I got a ticket for noise pollution because my radio was up. I was driving in a '96 Lincoln Town car that had no system in it.
We were playing Winds of Plague. So that was probably the pollution he was referring to. Is that damn devil music?
He didn't like the music that I was listening to. It wasn't up too loud, so he gave me a ticket because my music was too loud. But it was because he didn't like what music I was listening to.
Oh yeah.
Gave me a ticket for. Now this one, Austin did not have a seatbelt on. Okay.
He had just taken his seatbelt off to try to answer his phone.
But still,
as we were pulling up, and it was
like wrap this vinyl around you, like
yeah. And I'm going to punish you if you decide that you don't want that extra bit of safety for your own life.
And here's the thing, too. Like, if they made a law where it's the driver has to have a seatbelt, but passengers can choose to do what they want, I'd be okay with that. Because the driver, if you're wrecking, right? Like, okay, you could fly around and lose more control of the vehicle. Understandable. I'll wear my seatbelt. Just makes sense.
I'm kind of with Jason. I don't know if you're going to lose.
You've lost control of the
vehicle. You're in a wreck. Like, what kind of control do you have?
But if I just am spinning out or something like that, or I could get thrown out of my seat, even on something that I could control if something was containing me. But passengers should have the option to do that or not. If they want to kill themselves, it's their fucking business.
Well, what's ridiculous is I can go down to McDonald's and I can eat 7 Big Macs a day.
Yeah.
I could literally eat myself into a freaking grave, and that's fine as long as I wrap this stupid seatbelt around me.
Yeah,
like it's just ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
Or freaking vodka. I can drink that. I can drink it. I can stay drunk until I die.
Yeah,
but it's not consistent. Like they are not doing it to protect us.
No, it's ridiculous. But yeah, that whole night was just crazy to me. It was like my first real experience with the police.
Yeah.
And it was a horrible experience. They were not cool.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They came
of
up.
Them were all right, but
we had some we had went to Walmart and bought tea. Like
Arizona
tea. Okay? Ugh. And they were in these brown bottles. They were like a liter bottle or something like that, right? And the cops keep going, "What you got in those drinks there?" It's like, it's fucking tea.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Austin goes, "It's tea. You want to try it?" He tried to hand it to the cop. He's like, "No, thanks. I'm good."
Yeah, I mean, it was just absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
why do you think you have that right to sit there and harass people about what's in there?
You damaged my property.
Oh, yeah.
Because I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. There was another time with that same friend. We were driving up to this casino, and there was this girl that was driving next to us on the way back. I don't know why we started doing this, but I had this notebook in the car, so we started like writing notes to her and like staying even with her.
Yeah.
And like putting it up the window. Anyway, it progressed to the point like she told us what her name was, and then like her name was Mary. So that stupid Christian song, Mary, Did You Know? I started writing that out, slapping it on the window. Anyway, she seemed fine. She seemed a little bit annoyed. Turns out she had friends on the police force in one of these towns we were going through. I mean, we weren't doing anything. I mean, nothing. Not speeding, not anything. We were putting a notebook up to the side of up to the window or whatever. Man, I was like, I look in the rearview mirror and coming off this exit, I mean, it looked like we were OJ in this freaking Suburban or whatever he was driving. I mean, they were aggressively behind us, and there was like 2 of them. And I was like, Josh, it's about to get ugly or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, he was driving, right? And so I guess she had been on the phone with him for a little bit and knew like I was the one instigating most of it. But I mean, not a curse word was said.
Right.
Nothing inappropriate. So it was just completely normal, just messing with this girl or whatever. Right. And I remember distinctly this 3 seconds where like we pull over, they're charging up to the car. Josh is kind of sitting against his window like this, right?
Right.
And this guy is coming up, and he's coming to my window, and like he opens the door. Josh is dying laughing, and he doesn't realize that there's a cop coming up on his side. So they rip him out of there, and it was like this crazy look on his face or whatever. And they put us against the car and frisked us and just questioned us forever. And then, I mean, they didn't even write us a ticket. They couldn't do anything.
There's nothing you did.
No.
You did nothing wrong.
They are the ones who committed crimes.
Yeah.
I mean, they assaulted you.
Yeah.
If they pulled you over, snatched you out of the vehicle, and started searching you, when you had committed 0 crimes,
that's right. Yeah.
Then they're the ones who just committed all the crimes.
Yeah.
So crazy.
It's insane, man.
Yeah.
I just don't... Like, as a grown man, I just don't see why I need a police officer.
No, they're not going to help you.
They're not going to help me. And I just don't see it, man. Like, if I'm going to die today, a police officer's not going to save me.
No.
I'm going to have to fucking figure it out myself.
Yeah. You're either going to have to figure it out yourself or call one of your neighbors if somebody breaks into your house. By the time the police get there, it's over.
It's over.
I've never met someone who's been saved by a police officer. Ever.
No.
Now, here's the thing, though. Of course someone has been.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying...
But you've never met anyone. Sure.
Those people exist, but I think they're few and far between because the likelihood of a police officer being in a situation where they can... Other than, like, hostage situations and things of that nature where they come out successful...
Here's the thing. Emergencies...
But that's not the same thing as...
Emergencies are few and far between anyways.
That should be a military thing, not that... You know, whatever. I don't think there should be a government military, but let's just, for the sake of arguing, for the cops, like at least in the United Kingdom, the cops don't carry guns.
Yeah,
they don't. That is for the military. Yeah. Like, and if there is a hostage situation, you call them in.
Yeah,
you don't do that to bust some grandma because she got an ounce of weed in her house.
Yeah, no, it's insane.
Yeah.
I don't think they have a very high rate of police officers being killed either. In the UK.
Do they not?
I don't think
Why would they? They're not fucking... They don't have any weapons.
No, they still fuck with people all the time.
Sure.
But but it's different.
But if you don't have a gun,
that tension
the most thing that's going to happen is I'm going to duke it out with you if I'm like really fucking shitty at a pub or something.
Yeah, like there's not that tension of like, I might get shot.
Yeah.
And one of the worst things that this whole... The left media has caused is this deep fear in most African Americans of the police, which, in my mind, pretty much all Americans have a fear of the police.
Oh, of course.
If you're driving and you see a cop behind you and you know you're doing the speed limit, you know you haven't done nothing wrong, your heart just sinks.
Yeah.
You start freaking out. So that's already a thing in everyone. But it's much worse now for African Americans because they're being told constantly, you're way more likely to get shot if a cop comes into contact with you. Which some of those statistics are true. Like that is true.
Well,
but that doesn't mean that the cops are doing it because you're black, but it causes more tension. And if someone's going to be a dick, and if the cop pulls you over and he's a edgy cop who might be a fucking asshole, and you start being on the defensive of like, I'm scared of you, I'm afraid you're going to kill me, cops be killing black folks out here, it's just going to piss him off. And then your whole situation is going to be worse. And I don't think people should just bend over and take it, but like that added bit of fear that's in everyone's minds now is only making situations worse. It's only making tensions rise amongst,
because they are people too,
African American communities and the police.
Like,
and part of it though is like, if you were dressed a certain way, like you're dressed like, no, it shouldn't be this way. Like that shouldn't be. There shouldn't be police, and it shouldn't be. But they're out there, and if you're dressed a certain way, they're going to be more likely to profile you because they're people. Like it happened to me and that friend of mine when we were in that band. Had a lip ring, had long dyed hair, dressed like a stupid scene kid. Every time me and him got pulled over, it was get out of the car, do you have drugs in the car, can I search the car, do I need to call the dog, every freaking time. And ever since I stopped doing that, and now I'm working in the financial sector and doing that kind of thing and dressed the same way, never once when I got pulled over have I asked if there were drugs in the car. Actually, only once has that ever happened, and I was dressed, I wasn't going to or from work, so I was dressed normally. And what happened, this cop was behind me. And he was behind me, so I pulled into this gas station to just get him out from behind me. And then I guess I pulled into the gas station, sat there for like 20 seconds. He pulls off or whatever. Well, he pulled down the street at a different gas station and saw me pull back, so he knew I pulled in the gas station to get away from him. He pulls me over and he's like, "Man, why'd you pull in? You got drugs in the car or whatever."
No, I don't want you to ride behind
he was like,
me.
"Well, why didn't you want me back there?"
Because
you're just looking for a reason to give me a ticket.
Exactly.
Like nobody wants you behind them. Like it makes people nervous. Like
which makes people. It's harder to drive when you're freaking out and all anxious. Like
I don't want the crap, and I don't have my 14 forms of ID in the car, my driver's license, my registration, my insurance, all this crap. Like, I don't want the hassle of dealing with you. And then if you do pull me over and I don't have proof of insurance, even though I have it, I got to go to court because that's a mandatory court appearance to go there and show them that you have insurance. It's just garbage.
Man, I got pulled over once, and I was like, all right, whatever. I pull over to the side of the road. He comes up. I'm smoking a cigarette at the time, right? And he asked me for my ID, registration, and proof of insurance. So I'm like digging for that stuff, and I hand it to him, and like I have my cigarette in my hand, and it was like for a split second, it like touched the inside of my door or something. He's like, "You just kind of burned the inside of your door. What you so nervous about?" I said, "Man, you pulled me over. You haven't told me why you pulled me over yet.
You got a gun.
I don't know why I'm being pulled over. Of course I'm nervous.
Unstable.
I said that to him. I was like, man, you're pulling me over. I don't know why I'm getting pulled over. You're a police officer. I'm a little nervous. I don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Why are you fucking coming at me? You know what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing. I can burn this car tomorrow to the fucking ground.
And
it's none of your goddamn business.
The funny thing about that is like, when I smoked cigarettes, my Mustang, there were so many burn marks on the top of the window and on the side. Like, and I was never nervous. I just was bumping the thing and burning my car with my cigarette. Like, that's a normal thing. Every smoker knows that happens to your car if you smoke cigarettes in your car.
You're gonna burn the fucking roof somehow. Like, you're gonna, it's just. Yeah, he's just fishing for shit is what he's doing. He's trying to get me to like go.
Yeah, he wants.
I got a little bit of weed, man, or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like
because he needs some weed.
Yeah,
and he wants to take your weed.
Exactly.
I've had so many weird, like not so many, because I haven't had a whole lot of encounters with police officers, but I've had
some good ones though.
I've had some like entertaining ones, and I've had some where like I definitely feel like if I was black, I would not have gotten out of the situations I got out of. Like I got. One time I was in the parking lot of this church at about 4 o'clock in the morning. I was waiting on a friend to come back with some illicit drugs. Fortunately, I had removed the marijuana in my pocket and put it in his truck before he dropped me off the church, and that was his idea. And if I'd have had it in my pocket when this cop pulled up, it would have made the situation so much worse. He would have known. I'd have been like, I got weed on me. I'd have freaked out and just told him. You know what I mean? I was not ready for this. And so I'm standing there. I'm already just nervous because
so
I'm
you're
like,
not in a car.
No, I'm standing
in a church parking lot
at
4
4 in the
a.m.
morning. All the lights are off. Just standing there, like in the middle of the parking lot.
Here's the thing. I know you got the rest of this to say, but the fact that you did not get arrested that night makes no sense to me.
Well, here's the thing. Well, yeah, it really doesn't, because he could have arrested me for trespassing, and he kind of said that. Yeah. And he said, you're really not supposed to be on this property. You're trespassing. I'm like, all right, I'm sorry. I'm waiting on a friend. So I told him, I said, I'm waiting on my friend. He had to go to his friend's to pick up his phone charger. He goes, why didn't you ride with him, man? And I said, man, he told me I had to get out and wait here because he couldn't make a lot of noise. He couldn't let his friend's dad know that he was coming over there. He didn't want to bother him. And he goes, that doesn't make any sense. And I said, that's what I told him. I was like, it didn't make any sense to me at all, but he was driving, so I went ahead and got out.
Caleb, you're one of the most confident people I've ever known. That's what I told him.
Shit. I was like, and here's the thing. I had been in the back of the car when my parents had been pulled over for little things here and there, and I would always freak out.
Yeah.
This is one of the first times I ever was dealing with a police officer where I was like actually doing something wrong and was like really scared I was going to go to jail. And I had it was like the beginning of vaping, right? And so we had these little small pen vapes, and they had the lanyards on them. We would wear them around our neck because we worked at the shop. And so I had one, and he's like, oh, is that one of them vape cigarette things? And I'm like, oh, yeah, man, this thing's pretty cool. I work at a smoke shop in Millington. So we're just chit-chatting, He's kind of like waiting on my friend.
Yeah, because he wants to...
And I was actually smoking a cigarette, and I was freaking out. And so I was like, I was done with it, and it was like burned into the filter. And I didn't want to just flick it. And I was like, what do I do with this? I don't want to just throw it down. He's like, oh, no, man, it's fine. Don't worry about it. And so I just flicked the cigarette. So, I think he, kind of felt like, okay, I'm like he saw I had some slight manners. And I was saying, oh, yes, sir, and all that.
Yeah.
So I hear Ryan's truck coming up. And I go, I think that's him there, which I don't know why the fuck I said that.
Because then he probably just seen it.
Yeah,
and kept driving.
So here comes Ryan.
Yeah,
he comes and stops at the stop sign right there. Left to pick me up, right to go back towards his house.
Yeah,
he just turns right. and I said, oh well, I guess that wasn't him.
Yeah,
and the cop goes, all right, well, give me a minute. And he went and sat in his car for a second, and then he's like, I think he came back and he was like, all right, man, I tried to call Ryan. And he didn't answer. And he's like, all right, man, well, I'm going to get on out of here. You need to, hopefully he can come pick you up soon. If not, you need to get off the property. And I'm like, all right, sir, thank you. And he sat in his car for a while. And I just stood there freaking out. And then he took off and went quickly down the direction that Ryan went. So I called Ryan again, and he answered. And I'm like, bro, that cop is coming after you. You need to fucking hide right now. So he whips into someone's driveway, cuts his light off.
Yeah.
And he sees the cop come down the road with his spotlight, and he's shining his spotlight, searching for him. He never did find him. Ryan came back, picked me up. We went home and got high as fuck. It was great. But that scared the shit out of me. I don't know how I got out of that, and I wasn't saying all the right things. My excuse was terrible.
No, man, that's great. That's what I told
you.
That's golden.
Yeah. And what was so fucked up is it's been standing there for maybe 5 minutes, and there was this big old hill. The church was at the top of a hill, and so I was like, I guarantee I'm about to see some headlights pop up over that hill, and I know it's going to be a cop. I felt it, and I started getting nervous. And all of a sudden, boom, headlights come up over the hill,
cop.
And just come straight in. Instead of making the turn on the road, he just comes straight into the parking lot, pulls right in front of me. And I was just like, fuck. But it all worked out.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I really think, if I was a black guy in that situation, he would have arrested me for trespassing.
Maybe. Possibly.
I don't know.
Possibly.
Like, I bet he would... I think a lot of times they're talking to you, trying to figure out if you sound like something's wrong, and, like, you just didn't.
And see, I wasn't high at all, and he said that. He goes, man, he was like, it's typically real unusual to see somebody walking around church at 4 in the morning. Yeah. Normally, when I come into contact with someone like this, they're either drunk or high or on something. He goes, so, that's why I'm talking to you, man. He goes, I can tell you're not on nothing. You seem pretty straight. And I'm like, yeah, sir. No, I'm just waiting on him to get his phone charger. Like, and 4 o'clock in the morning, just got to get that charger. That was crazy.
So funny.
Yeah,
that's what I said.
That was like the best thing I could have said.
Of course.
The original, because I had to come up with the excuse on the spot of why I'm standing here. So that was all I could think of.
Yeah.
And it made 0 sense. And so I had to agree with the officer. I had to. It doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense, man.
My
friend's an idiot.
Yeah. I guess his thought, I'm sure he knew that I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
But his thought was, I doubt this kid has any drugs. He's clearly waiting on his friend to go pick up the drugs. I gotta get the truck, and that's why he took off and tried to pull him over. But
it's crazy.
So why weren't you with him to go get the drugs?
It was one of those things where at the time I wasn't well connected with the dealer to be allowed to be in the truck. Yeah. It was always like no, you ain't bringing nobody over here I don't know.
Yeah.
So it took a while before I was able to go over there by myself.
Yeah.
Eventually I got around to it.
That's funny.
Made a guy slide his bike one time turning in that way up there by that church.
You cut a biker off.
I did not cut him off. He was speeding. He was going way too fast up this dangerous ass hill that's also a curve.
Yeah.
And I came up. The curve kind of goes around right, but the road left is where I needed to go.
Yeah.
So I stopped completely in the road, had my blinker on, sitting there. I look at the top of the hill. I waited a second. Nothing's coming. I go as quickly as I can. As soon as I start to turn, a bike comes flying up over the hill. I mean, he was going way too fast. He should have been going 35, 40. He was going way faster than that.
Yeah.
And he didn't have time to stop. I hit the gas, was getting out of his way, and he slammed on his brakes and locked his bike up and laid it over and went sliding.
Yeah.
And I just kept going, pulled into dude's driveway. And I'm freaking out, thinking this guy's probably going to follow me. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm freaking out. I'm trying to do something illegal here, and I just did something else illegal, and I'm running away.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what's up, man? Talking to dude, and sitting in my car, and he's like, who the hell's coming down my driveway? And I was like, I don't know. And I looked in my rear view, saw this dude riding the bike down the driveway, and I was like, oh, shit, man, I don't know. And the guy's like, you fucking cut me off, you son of a bitch, screaming and screaming. And I was like, man, I didn't see you.
Yeah.
And dude whose house it was, he starts just charging towards this guy on the motorcycle, and he goes, you get the fuck out of my driveway talking like that. You don't come down here cussing him out. He said he didn't see you. You get the fuck out of here right now. And this guy was kind of older, and he was crippled over, he walked weird because he just seemed like his back didn't work right.
Are you talking about the motorcycle?
No, the dealer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the house I was at.
I was like, maybe that guy's crippled over because you just...
No. But as soon as dude started charging him, saying, get out of my driveway, dude backed up his motorcycle real quick, turned around, and just took off.
Yeah.
And I was like, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, fuck that guy. He don't get you come down here talking that shit in my driveway. I thought he was going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Nearly causing a wreck and bringing someone to my house. I thought he was about to beat my ass.
Yeah.
But he totally defended me and was like, that guy needs to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Man, I think people are weird about drug deals, though. I mean...
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that big of a deal to me.
Well, it depends on what you're selling.
What do you mean?
He was a big deal about it because he was selling meth and he was using meth. So he was up all the time. He was paranoid.
If they're
he was
on that.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had all kinds of weird methy paranoid rules. It was pretty scary too. You'd show up and walk up in the garage and he'd have an AR and a Glock sitting there and be like, "Oh, check this out, man." Not pointing it at nobody. Yeah. He knew what he was doing, but it was always just thanks for flexing on me, sir.
Yeah. Huh.
The good old days.
The good old days.
Not really. I mean, I had some great times, but I don't miss the drugs, that's for sure.
Yeah. Daniel.
Welcome back.
I don't understand why your bladder can't make it through a podcast.
I don't know, man.
Every freaking time. You're just...
Gotta go.
Yeah.
See you in a minute.
Like my freaking kid. Pee before you get in the car.
I have the bladder of a small
Damn it.
child.
Yeah.
Always have.
Always have.
I feel like we did a lot of good work today.
I think we
I
did.
feel like we've done some good work today.
That's right.
Let us know what you think in the comments below. If we've done good work, let us know.
That's right.
That's right.
Like the video, subscribe, click the bell.
Are we done? Are we ending it?
I just got back.
That's what I hear people say. Yeah.
You don't have to say it at the end. We can say it whenever we want.
That's right.
On it.
Can.
Total human optimization.
That's right. On it is some
Yeah.
good supplements. You should.
I don't know what y'all are talking about.
That's crazy to me because it has nothing to do with Jordan Peterson. So you should know what we're talking about.
Ethan asked me, what's this inside joke about you and Jordan Peterson?
You don't know who the man is?
Well,
Alright.
next week we're gonna have a guest on, and
Who's that?
it's our good friend St. Clair.
Oh, yeah. He may not want his name out there, but you know.
It's his last name, first name, something like that. Doesn't matter.
The town he lives in. St. Clair, Missouri.
That's right.
Have you ever stopped at, Caleb?
All right. We'll see you guys next week.